Okay, so in today's video, my very first video on YouTube actually, so don't rip me too hard, we're going to cover over a blueprint that you can rely on to improve your conversions and actually get started using Meta ads. Now, after helping small businesses for almost a decade, including my own, and spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on Meta ads, I've come up with a 3-step blueprint that you can rely on to get better results and make more data-driven decisions, and we'll cover it all in this 5-minute video. I hope you enjoy. So stage 1 is, where do you start? So if you've already run campaigns, or you know some good competitors that are running campaigns successfully, then you already have a head start. So firstly, if you've ran campaigns before, you should go onto your ads manager, look through the successful campaigns, look at the successful creatives, and take note what worked well and what didn't. This is going to build a foundation of data that's going to allow you to make some better decisions over stage 2 and 3, which we're going to cover over in a second. The second option is, if you've never run any ad campaigns before, go onto something like Facebook's ad library, search in your competitor's name, and see what ads that they're running. And a way you can tell whether those ads are performing well or not, because you definitely don't want to copy any poor performing ads that they've got out there at the moment. You want to click on the ad and you want to see how long ago they posted or they released that ad campaign. If it was 3-4 months ago and they've still got it on and it's still active today, then you can almost bet that that is performing well, because it doesn't make sense to keep spending money on ads if it's not performing well, even though I've seen that plenty of times in the past. But this is a good place to start from if you've got no other data. And don't worry, it's not the only thing we're going to rely on over the next 2 stages. Okay, so once we gather a bit of an understanding on what works well, we can move on to stage 2. So stage 2 is going to be building out your creative library. Now, it sounds intense, it sounds hard, but it really isn't. And it's a very simple process. You take what's worked well from phase 1, what your competitors are doing well, or what you've seen work in the past, and you're going to take that creative and you're going to make 4 additional variations. Meaning we now have 5 creatives, similar to what we've seen work, but also different in many aspects. Now, the biggest driver, you've probably heard this 100 times, for a successful creative is a strong hook. That's really true, and I'll explain why very quickly. People come onto their social media platforms, in this example, Instagram and Facebook, and they scroll to maybe catch up with some friends, or to maybe burn a couple of minutes, or hours in some cases, but they don't really go on the platform to buy necessarily what you are selling. So imagine this, most of your competitors, most people who try ads, they use 1 creative, not 5, they use 1 to try and get the message across to that potential buyer. But if you take McDonald's as an example, they have billboards up and down every single street, or they do where I live at least, and they get me. But you'll never see the same exact design, the same message, the exact same offer on every single billboard. One might have a hamburger, but what if I don't like hamburgers and I'm driving past and I see this hamburger ad? Well, they're not going to get me as a customer. But 10 minutes down the road, they see the ad for the mozzarella dippers, which I'm a sucker for. So if I see that ad, I'm more likely to think, you know what, I'm gonna grab a McDonald's today. And this is the power of testing more than 1 creative. Because if they just had that 1 hamburger billboard over and over and over again, then you can show me that thing 1,000 times, but if I don't like hamburgers, I'm not going to shop with McDonald's today. So this is the power of using 5 different creatives, because we have 5 chances to get that one person over the line and come to us as a customer. So we now have our 5 creatives. Now let's build out our campaign. You have an objective. Let's say it's to acquire leads, acquire their data so we can advertise them further. We then have our audience. Now we should repeat this exact process, which we're about to go for, to split test our different audiences. But for now, feel free to use the broad audience, or don't change anything, just let Facebook choose who it thinks. With its very intelligent algorithm, you can allow it to choose your customers for you. Even though this isn't the most cost-effective way of doing things, but for now, for this example, we can move forward with that. Then we have our 5 creatives. Now you want to set your budget at the ad set level, not at the campaign level. And what you want to do if you have 5 creatives, a little rule of thumb that I like to follow is you want to spend about £2.50 per day at least per creative. Meaning we're going to be spending about £17.50 a day. But don't worry, we don't have to keep that spend up. I understand that's a little bit high for some of you. We just need it for the next 3 days to gather some seriously good data. So we run the campaign for 3 days at £17.50 with the ad set budget, not the campaign budget. And we get a fair test. And by the end of that, we get to see which of the 5 ads are the best performers. Now, you're likely going to get 3 which really didn't perform. They didn't go anywhere, didn't get any conversions, didn't get any leads. You might have 1 that did okay, and then you may have one that outperformed the rest. If you didn't get any results, then unfortunately you need to repeat this test but with 5 completely different creatives to see if you can find something that starts to work well, see if you can see a pulse or a repeated pattern in what creatives work. So from that test, maybe we have one that really works. Now, you want to take that one that works and you want to replicate it 4 times again. Not exactly the same, with certain elements changing. Slightly adjust the hook, or slightly shorten the video, try and squeeze it into 20 seconds instead of 40 seconds. Try and change the message subtly, but you've got 5 opportunities now. The one that worked really well, we're going to use that again on our next campaign, and then 4 new variations. Now this is where we go into stage 3. Stage 1, we had a look what worked in the past for us or with our competitors. Stage 2, we tested our 5 creatives. We found something that starts to look like it's going to be a good ad, but we haven't committed to one yet. Now we have our 5 new creatives, including the one that worked well in our last campaign, and we're going to set a budget at the campaign level this time. Now at the campaign level, you can set a general, let's say £10 a day ad spend, and you can run that campaign, and over the space of the next couple of days, you want to be keeping an eye on which are the best performers out of those 5. And now with this method, you could see why over time, you're only going to get better and better results because you understand the data more. So instead of thinking, right, I've got an offer, let's put it out there, let's create something cool and sending it, where you're throwing money at Facebook hoping something comes back, you want to make very data-driven decisions, because at the end of the day, you can spend £5 and get 0 customers, or you can spend £5 and get 1. I know which one I'm going to try and achieve. So time after time, after we've achieved this understanding of the data, you will see better performing ads every time you put something new out there, because you know what worked previously and you know what didn't work previously. And that's a good point. Knowing what worked is as important as knowing what didn't work, because you know what not to do next time as well. So now we come to the territory of scale. Okay, so this is a word that's thrown around, but it's what you want to try and achieve. You want to be confident in your ads to be able to scale them. Now, in an example of a local business where there's maybe a limited audience because of your demographic in your area, we don't want to spend a month testing the same ad and then try and scale it, because that ad might have circulated already. So now we've done our test, we've got our 5 new creatives, we run that same campaign with maybe £10 a day, and we see a good cost per lead that we're seeing a good conversion rate with. Maybe we're spending £10 a day, we're getting 2 leads, one of those leads convert into a £20 customer. Now we're getting a 2x ROAS. So in theory, if we put £20 a day on, we'll get 4 leads and we'll get 2 conversions, returning us £40. And this is the art of scale. Now, the ability to scale your campaigns doesn't happen every single time, but this is what you want to try and achieve. And you don't want to achieve it with luck, you want to achieve it with good quality data. So when it comes to running your next Meta Ads campaign, think, what's worked? Let's do some variation tests. Let's find a winner and scale. It sounds simple, but nobody is doing it. And I bet in your niche and in your industry, there's plenty of space in this saturated marketing style to make some serious money. Now, I hope you were taking notes, but if you didn't, don't worry, I've got you. Below in the comments, I've added a link and I pinned that comment to the top. You can click on it and you can get a clear breakdown and a worksheet on this video, meaning you can go onto your ads manager and you can start gathering data and you can start scaling ads with far more confidence. Now, I don't guarantee that this system works for everybody, but based on data and the success that I've seen with previous clients, I can almost guarantee that you'll see better results than not working based off the data and just throwing out random offers. So hit the link either in my bio or in the comment section and grab yourself that free worksheet that will guide you through the entire process that I covered today. Now, I hope you got some value from this. It was my first video and I'll be posting more just like this one. So please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next video.